この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Hyouka, episode 8 and onward. I don't know how many we're going to watch today, but we'll watch until we don't want to watch anymore. Apologies if I seem a little off this morning to start. It's pretty early and I haven't had enough tea yet, so I'll probably slowly come more online as we move along. But I'm up and I'm ready to go, so I don't want to burn daylight and I want to get this video out lickety split. Where did that come from? I don't know. Yeah, we're on episode 8 of Hyouka. In the last 2 episodes, we had 2 somewhat self-contained, sort of disconnected little moment things, which were pretty cool and pretty cute and had a lot of good stuff in them. The first was in episode 6. We had an interesting discussion on sins and anger and moderation and all sorts of things there, and the idea that Chitanda doesn't really get angry, but she just did and doesn't understand why, and we investigated that and figured out that it was just an interesting situation based on a mistake of the teacher mixing up a D and an A because he drew them weird. And then we moved from there to the word that comes to mind is token, but that's not what the requisite required. I don't know, the bathhouse episode. Gotta go to an onsen, gotta go to a hot spring, and that's exactly what we did. It turns out that Ibata, her family owns a bathhouse and we're doing some renovations, so they had some free space, and so all our crew went and journeyed up there and discovered in the process an interesting ghost story, which they had some first-hand experience with, seeing a creepy, spooky shadow of a hanging man, which was actually just a hanging kimono being hidden away by one of the younger siblings who just wanted to borrow her sister's cute kimono, and her sister's really kind of uptight about sharing things. So it all turned out kind of cool, and we had some kind of cool sort of character development-y, romance development-y moments for Oreki and Chitanda, and some cool stuff going on there. It was fun. Also some very clever uses of random objects in scene to cover certain parts of bodies because TV anime. Also a bit of an in-joke, if you will. 2 really fun episodes, and we ended off with a scene, because there's always a Jikai, a next time thing, that was, let's go to the screening, and some imagery of our lovely quartet, our lovely quartet sitting in what looked like a classroom, watching what looked like a film school, film class film being made, like an amateur production thing. Don't know what that's going to be. Seems fun and cheerful and chipper. Like, let's go to the screening. But I assume that there's going to be some kind of mystery wrapped up in this, either in this videotape, playing off of the ideas of like a cursed videotape, or something else. I don't know. I'm sure there will be something of interest to check out here, but really don't know. And I don't know. It sounds like it's probably like a one-off episode, but we've had a number of those so far, and so I get the feeling like we're going to start an arc. But again, I don't know. So, I have episode 8 of Hyouka up and ready to go. It is at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions of this reaction video. You can find yourself a picture-in-picture version with the video up there, linked down in the description, and a timer-based version up on YouTube. The timer-based version will have discussion at the end of each episode that we watch. Picture-in-picture version will not, so mix and match as you see fit. And if you want to sync up your own copy of the episodes with the timer-based version so you can, I don't know, watch it big screen and minimize me, cool, do that. Just get your copy ready, because the beep beep timer to count you down to the very beginning of the episode should be coming at you shortly. Actually, before we do that, one thing I wanted to mention about the files, I don't know how relevant this is or like whether it has any bearing on anything, but in the Cole Girls files that I have, this episode, like many of the others surrounding it, some of them go up to like 27, 28 minutes, but this one's 25. However, most of the episodes are between like 1.4 and 1.8 gigabytes. This one is 2.6 gigabytes. Now, whether that's just an encoding thing, they encoded it at higher settings or something, or something else, I don't really know. Often when you're using, like, I believe these are in H.264, but regardless of the compression algorithm that they're using, often that means that there's a lot of changing visuals frequently, because otherwise you can compress it down by saying, like, this pixel is blue, and now it's still blue, and now it's still blue, and now it's still blue, and you can just sort of fold all of those together. Same with, like, large areas of the same color. You can just like fill them all together. Makes me think that there's going to be a lot of visual messing around and changing things in this episode, but I don't really know. And that's sort of weird meta knowledge that I shouldn't have, but we'll keep an eye out for it. If there are some really crazy, interesting visuals, that would be cool. Maybe something to look at and talk about. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that because it took me off guard. I was looking through the files like, why is this one so big? Weird. So, yeah, beep beep timer. I don't know what else to do. Just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Done all you could possibly hope to do. Who is texting? See what I can do about this, but it won't play out the way you intended. This is weird and ominous. Alright, whose phone was that? Alright, now we're on. Can't do anything about the time or place. But I hate not being able to do anything for you. Anyone else who can? So the club? Wrapping them up into it? Senpai, so we've got a younger student and an older student. But if you use them right, they might dance for you. Time passing. Will you be available that day? I'd love to go. I'm sorry, I meant... That seems weirdly specific. Tell you the time and place later. Sounds like a lot of fna... Okay. So somebody not experienced with tech. Yeah. That's oddly specific. You're in the classics club, so one of the members we're talking to is... I would assume it's Chitanda. She seems like the type who wouldn't be super into text lingo. And then that's a senpai. Sorry I couldn't be there. Alright, this is already interesting and weird. Also really clever to do this whole thing via text. Prevents us from actually knowing who the characters are. It means that every character that we see maybe arouses suspicion as to who that might be. Unless they just reveal it off the bat. Okay. That's an interesting setup. And then this cut, which I fucking love. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, lots of hard work. True. Blessing and a curse. Well, it wasn't, but... Sherlock Holmesy stuff. You try real hard to be normal. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we're meeting over break. And he's absolutely right. Hmm. Okay. Title drop. Okay. Okay, that tells us exactly. With her. Oh. All right, AV Club. Or AV Classroom. Well, that's not ominous. Oh. Oh. Okay. That's a character design. Irisu. Iris. Rip. She sort of fits the same archetype that Chitanda does, but Chitanda, like, goes outside of it. She's got that perfect student council president look. Okay. Okay. I love her hair. Not huge on the strand across the face, but the rest I love. I'm gonna steal that for a character design. It's like the front of a sharp, harsh bob cut. Does she want them to solve the mystery? Mystery movie, right? Efficient. So will we get a film within a film? Okay. And she leaves the room. Good luck. So the point is probably to solve the mystery or to determine whether they can. The Kanya Festival. Okay. So it's done as found footage. Interesting. KyoAni leaning back into Haruhi days a little bit. I love it. I love it. It takes so much effort to do something badly. Who's filming? Hmm. The pops in the audio. Ooh, the zoom. Ugh. Ugh. Ah. Everything shot so flat, so bland. I love KyoAni. Oh yeah, this is a totally normal place to go. Definitely nothing dark and spooky. Thanks. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, thanks, bud. Glass. Line. Oh. That looks like a table. Oh, nope, that's there it is. Okay. No cut. Yikes. Why did we accent the fact that there's a floor map? They should be here? Or they should be here? All right, we're literally spotlighting that. This is all set up, though. Were there 6 keys or only 5? Right. So they all go off in different directions. Except 2 and 2 on the left. Okay. No talking during the movie. She's the worst. Oh, man. We didn't see what was on the floor. That's just the cameraman being bad. Where's the master key? Good. Yeah. Pairs. How did he get in there? Why was the door locked? Ketchup! Ooh. Are you not? Window is closed and locked. So we've got a closed room murder mystery. Okay, it's not locked. Are there footsteps? Couldn't tell. That's it. Okay, question. It's awful. But it's perfectly awful because KyoAni. Sure. This goes back to the conversation they were having at the beginning. Hmm. Oh. They don't know how the mystery ends. They don't know how the mystery ends. Oh. The key to the mystery. Right. Loves to lean back on that. You can't take anything from the acting because you can't believe that the characters are able to express it. More than that, they don't know who the culprit is. It's perfect. Who's filming? Or are they meant to be outside of, like, not in the story? Why were you brought on? Okay. Okay. That makes some sense. Whoops. How did she know? Mystery within a mystery. Uh, I've got some expectations of you. It's not a real thing that happens. There isn't real evidence to go and examine. She's curious. Ooh, cool shot. Bing! It's all over. Ah. Oops. Ding. Mm. 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 I like that idea. Just shoot down other people's ideas. Sounds fun. Oh. Ice Queen. Empress, that works. Ow. Oh, well, we've already fallen into her trap. Hmm. Judgment. Oh, okay. Zawado. Okay, sorry. Zafur. And Oreki. Hmm. Absolutely. Hot. Atsui. Nope. Nope, nope. Nope or nope. And no choice. How did she get that far back? We don't know how long it took him to walk to the door. Hmm. They're here. Who dat? Who be you? Okay. Cool. Sure. Oh, we get another one of these. I bet it's interpolated. Interpolated. Blah blah. Ooh, nice. They're probably gonna be melted. It's really fucking hot. Aren't we all? Stop being such a stick in the mud. Props master. We got brought in. Okay, okay, okay. A woman after my own heart. Cool cut. It's a distant dancer. Ridiculously kind and easily moved. Best friend. Wow, what an odd answer for a best friend. Were you close? List out traits. Weird. All right. 3 weird and interesting character designs. I'm gonna pull up Nox 10 Commandments. 20 rules. I forget what the other one was. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. So I'm going to guess that those were all speculations in the minds of the people, and I'm not going to be misled by them. So I wanted to, just because it's kind of fun, I wanted to start off by talking through these 10 commandments and 20 rules, and I don't remember what the other thing was. It's 10 commandments, 20 rules, and right. That shouldn't be a problem. Study mystery. Yeah. Chandler's Laws. That's the one I'm missing. Chandler's Laws. Chandler's 10 Commandments. Okay, cool. For the detective novel. So let's start with the Knox's 10 Commandments. 1. The criminal must be someone mentioned in the early part of the story, but must not be anyone whose thoughts the reader has been allowed to follow. As far as I know, that covers all of the characters involved in the filming. 2. All supernatural or preternatural agencies are ruled out as a matter of course. It's not a supernatural event. 3. Not more than one secret room or passage is allowable. I'm not sure if the room that we saw in there counts, but we'll see. No hitherto undiscovered 4. No hitherto undiscovered poisons may be used, nor any appliance which will need a long scientific explanation at the end. The act is relatively simple. 5. No Chinamen must figure into the story. Okay, that's a rule out of time, but all right. No accident. 6. No accident must ever help the detective, nor must he ever have an unaccountable intuition which proves to be right. Rip Oreki. 7. The detective must not himself commit the crime. 8. The detective must not light on any clues which are not instantly produced for the inspection of the reader. So no finding a clue, hiding it away, and then revealing it at the end. Again, kind of messing with Oreki's thing. This 9. The stupid friend of the detective, the Watson, must not conceal any thoughts which pass through his mind. His intelligence must be slightly, but very slightly below that of the average reader. So I assume that is generally what's his face, the database guy. 10. Twin brothers and doubles generally must not appear unless we have been duly prepared for them. Cool. Fine. Sure. That makes sense. And also, in truth, most of these rules have become outdated in current mystery fiction. Nice. Raymond Chandler's 10 Commandments. It must be credibly motivated, both as to the original situation and the denouement. It must be technically sound as to the methods of murder and detection. Sure. It must be realistic in character, setting, and atmosphere. It must be about real people in a real world. 4. It must have a sound story value apart from the mystery element, i.e., the investigation itself must be an adventure worth reading, which is what we'll probably be experiencing over the next episode. 5. It must have enough essential simplicity to be explained easily when the time comes, of course. It must baffle a reasonably intelligent reader. Okay. The solution must seem inevitable once revealed, as it always should, and it must not try to do everything at once. If it is a puzzle story operating in a rather cool, reasonable atmosphere, it cannot also be a violent adventure or a passionate romance. Okay. 9. It must punish the criminal in one way or another, not necessarily by the operation of the law. If the detective fails to resolve the consequences of the crime, the story is an unresolved chord and leaves irritation behind it. And 10. It must be honest with the reader. All right. And then the 20. These are S.S. Van Dyne's rules for writing detective stories. Reader must have equal opportunity with the detective for solving the mystery. All clues must be plainly stated and described. Sure, there must be no love interest. The detective himself or one of the official investigators should never turn out to be the culprit. There's some overlap here. There simply must be a corpse, and the deader the corpse, the better. No lesser crime than murder will suffice. Nice. The problem of the crime must be solved by strictly naturalistic means. No Ouija boards, no slate writing, mind reading, crystal gazing, etc. A servant must not be chosen by the author as the culprit. A crime, yeah. So it's not the maid, no butler. A crime in a detective story must never turn out to be an accident or a suicide. It must be something else. Not so as not to hoodwink the thing. No secret societies, Kimura's, mafias, etc. Culprit must turn out to be a person who has played a more or less prominent part in the story. No grabbing a random background character. And a detective novel should contain no long descriptive passages, no literary dallying with side issues, no subtly worked out character analyses, no atmospheric preoccupations. And for some reason, while this is meant to be a list of 20, there are only 10 here. That's okay. I think we've got the general idea for the rules. I just wanted to go through them and talk them out because, okay, we can assume that for the most part, the mystery story as presented so far fits that. Now there are two distinct like sections of this episode, and I will say before we begin actually diving into this because I want to go over the filmic sequences with a fine tooth comb and see if we can glean any information from them, specifically the key sequence because that's interesting. Um, oh, and the room layout is also something that we've put a bit of interest in. But anyway, there are two distinct sequences. Before we start with any talk about any of them, I want to say that like during this episode, I experienced time dilation. Like, uh, the episode didn't feel like it took any time at all. I was entirely engrossed in the story, and that's just a testament to the quality of the setup and how interesting it is. I think a part of that comes from the initial setup out here, which takes place entirely via text, and we see only minor elements of the characters in play. There's already a palpable sense of mystery here when we're seeing somebody interact with only their hands, the drink at their side, and their phone. It's just intriguing. It's just cool. I really like this setup, and there's a hint at it, which sort of primes us for observational mystery and detective storytelling by introducing this element of the misspellings and the senpai being introduced in here. But the misspellings make us think, could that be Chitanda? And then we start looking for evidence that maybe it is Chitanda. But it's also something that could lead us astray if it weren't Chitanda. But it is, so makes perfect sense. Reload instead of reload. Nice. And we've got the glass at the side, all that stuff. Yeah. Seen as rather ominous, doesn't actually seem to be ominous given context. Then we have this conversation here, which I think factors into what Irisu says a little bit later about doing things for the sole purpose of self gratification when they're talking about lacking talent, or he's talking about lacking talent and withholding his thoughts on Oreki. Pretty cool, pretty interesting. All right, so get some cute Chitana moments, and then we meet and reveal Irisu. So there's a suspicious thing going on here, in that when she's introduced to us, she is framed in complete shadow, almost as the classic Japanese schoolgirl with hair over the eyes. It's like a, a cultural trope thing. I don't feel like that's actually evidence toward anything. Uh, but okay, interesting. And then the whole walking out into the light reveal, like you've seen that scene probably a dozen or 2 dozen times, but it's always been a villain whenever you've seen that happen. It's odd that we show this character in this way, and it's intentional. So I don't know what to think about that, but it's definitely a thing. And then we slowly like bring color into her face. When we first see her walk out into the light, she is almost blown out and very bright, stark white. Like you can tell, you can see that the white of the thing inside her shirt is almost the same as the color of her face. And then in moments later, when we see her face again, yeah, she's got a little bit more color there, as do the rest of the characters, which is kind of interesting. Don't know what to think about that. Will say I absolutely love the design of her hair. Again, barring the one strand that goes across the face. That's the one element that I don't love about it. But the I don't know what you call them. They're the feminine version of sideburns. They're the Legolas things. They're the thingy majiggies that crop directly across the line of the chin. I really like those. I like those a lot. I'm stealing that. I'm stealing that. Um, and usually we see that cut or that haircut in like what's her name from female character Cowboy Bebop. She's got one of those cuts, right? Yeah, Faye Valentine. Yeah, in that sort of a badass, no funny business sort of character. Um, Sexy, but like bridges the gap between traditional femininity and traditional masculinity in certain kinds of stories. We've got that kind of thing going on with this character design. However, she also has the long flowing black hair that you would expect from like a well-regarded empress or princess of the school type of character. It's just interesting to note. And very very normal eyes, but very thin. Almost you could say almost like a yandere type character's eyes. If you just shaded them out, yeah, that would work. Not quite pointy enough to be, but interesting. Okay, so setup is given to us. I want to ask you a question at the end of this whole thing. Watch the film. We'll see what you think of it. Cool. And then we jump from outside the film into the film within a film, and that becomes immediately interesting. I've never seen a studio do films within a film with the kind of deft touch that KyoAni does films within a film. I mean, the Adventures of Asahina Mikuru is one of my favorite episodes of anything ever, just ever. It's so good in how bad it is, and it's just impressive because I think we know as viewers at this point, especially if you've been following my journey through KyoAni, that KyoAni is a massive congregation of extraordinarily talented people who put a lot of effort into making the things that they make look and feel and sound and be as good as they possibly can. From Liz and the Bluebird to Hibike to Lucky Star to all of Haruhi, it's as good as it could possibly be at the time with the tech that they have and the time that they're allotted. Um, and so seeing a studio that is so frequently a bastion of excellence intentionally hamstring themselves and intentionally create something that is goddamn awful is just fantastic. So like it to the point where it makes me wonder if they actually shot these scenes with a handheld camera and use that as like the basis for some of the stuff that they're doing. There's the constant shaky cam. There's the terrible lighting, the terrible framing, the extremely amateurish sound design, and like all of that had to be constructed and carefully constructed in order to make this feel like it is in the story, like it is in Hyouka. It's a really cheesy, really poorly executed school film project thing, and that's awesome. It's just awesome. Um, Couple questions immediately arise. One being who is holding the camera and are they intended to be a part of the story? It's unclear to me at this point. It seems like they're trying to be more serious with it, and the camera appears to be like a third, like a non-existent observer, but I'm not positive. So hold on. I need the first lines. Several volunteers from Class 2F decided to produce an exhibit on the history of Narakubo at the Kanya Festival. Okay. They went there as part of their research into it. It does make me think that because it's really impossible to say at this point. It's not clearly delineated whether there is a member of this group who is meant to be the camera person for this. Like, in the universe of Hyouka, is this video attempting to be found film, found footage, like after the fact stuff? Don't know. It's just an unknown quantity. If there is meant to be a seventh member of the group who is the cameraman or the camera person, then that's immediately where my suspicions lie. But that would not be following the rules of the detective fiction because it's not a character that's been introduced. Yeah, yeah, Yeah. Okay. So aren't we there yet? We said that 5 minutes ago. And we can't read. This is another thing that's brilliant about this is because we're using effectively non-actors, people who aren't thinking about the way that they're expressing themselves on camera. And we see that, I think, most clearly in like this guy being super nervous, this girl speaking way too loudly and like forcefully trying to get her lines out. Um, and I mean, just all of them. They're all terrible. They're all bad. And that's perfect because that means that we can't read anything into their mannerisms or their way of speaking or the way that they look in certain scenes because the camera person is really inexperienced and they're really inexperienced. They're not trying to convey something really deep or complex. We can't, it's not like, oh, her eye twitched. That's definitely, oh, she's the murderer. It doesn't work that way because of the setup, and that's perfect. We've also got this sort of amazing setup in the background, which is Oreki being begrudgingly watching this thing while the other characters around him are getting more and more into it. It's cool. It's cool. So we point. We can see it now. He has a camera, I think. Okay, that's Narakubo over there. Wow. And we don't really get to know the internal thoughts of any of the characters. And he stands out as something of the leader of the group. And he's the one who is killed at the end. Okay. We enter the building. And again, the way that they're positioned. Okay. I've got a bad feeling about this. I think would fall in line with, like, knowing the inner thoughts about the characters. But we could, because it's part of the script, we could also say that perhaps she is acting like there's a bad feeling about this because she knows something bad is going on. Seems like diving too deep into it, and it doesn't seem like something that would be like an effective piece of evidence. So I'm just shooting down my own theories. So we get this spooky place. Got 2 stairways up and about. Everybody turns around, sort of faces the camera, breaks the fourth wall a little bit. It's dusty. There's glass on the floor already. And then so we cut down there. Her head remains in frame. Split up and look around inside, and then we immediately cut to her, but that's just the poor direction. Although the way that we cut to her implies that she knew that this map was there. Doesn't really matter. She also seems to know her way around this building in an odd way that doesn't really make sense. But we do find a map. And I think we are assuming that the room where we find him in is not a part of the map. No, that doesn't make any sense. It would be a part of the map. Unfortunately, we can't read any of this, but I'm going to assume that because it wasn't translated, it's not like desperately necessary. Okay, let's split up and move inside. Look around inside. See, she immediately is like seems like a red herring to me. Because she's constantly looking down, very reserved, very quiet. It's always the quiet ones, yada yada yada. And then the thing with the map and knowing where things are, knowing stuff, it makes her seem like she might be suspicious, and that makes her immediately not so suspicious to me. I don't know. Okay. Moving on. All right, we follow her into this side room. We find the board where we keep all of the keys. I want to know how many keys there are. It's really difficult to tell from here. It looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the masters. Let's see. We do get a shot of the master key directly. What's this key here? I think that's the master key. 1, 2. It's hard to say. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's hard to say with the way that the shadows are. But, alright, fine. We return to the group, plop all the keys down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unless there's one hidden. Yeah, there is. Okay, so there are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. Her body is obscuring part of it. We can't see it all. There's so much focus on this scene, it makes me think that it's important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Weird. Okay. Wouldn't you normally go look together? Because the crime's about to happen. Alright, we split. 1, 1, 2, 2. Any of the other pairs would have noticed someone leaving their area. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay. Then we are cut out of it for a moment. The camera just remains there. She comes back from where she came back from. They come back from where they came back from. And then immediately suspicion is on the two in the top left corner. Mine had shards from a mirror all over. We will sleep there unless we clean it up. Anything on your side? Nope. Up there? Nope. And then Sugimura takes a moment and his room is fairly clean. Where is Kaito? Everyone realizes that he is gone. So we head down that direction. Check the two rooms next to it. Both of them are open. The one that is locked will not open. We go and get the master key. Those two do. They go and get the master key. We enter the room, and he's on the floor, bloody, with seemingly his own hand cut off. But it's underneath him because amateur filmmaking. Blood. Kind of odd to go straight up and put your hands in the blood. Unless you already have blood on your hands and are trying to hide it. And she is invested. He is not. Goes and checks the window. The window is stuck, but it opens. Looks outside the window. There is like a dark spot, but it's hard to tell whether that's like footprints or... It doesn't look like it's broken blades of grass, so it can't be that. Then down the hall, we go slightly. And hidden passage? No, because there are all these things in the way. But then there's a TV on the shelf, or a microwave or something. I don't know what it is. And then cut. A couple of possibilities come to mind. One is it was an accident, but then why is the door locked? Why would he lock himself in the room? Somebody entered and exited through that door, cut his hand off with something, and then left. Unless that is meant to be a secret passage down the side. The fact that we brought up the rules of the 10 Commandments and the 20 rules and all that jazz makes it seem like we're meant to use those as a basis for our investigation. And the implication is, because we see everything on screen except for the few moments that we cut away from, is that we as viewers, just like them as viewers, have been given all of the information that we need, all of the requisite information to actually solve the case. You can probably tell that I'm actually really into this. Like, I'm stumped. But I'm fascinated by this whole thing. And all of it is set up inside this context of, like, is it worth it for self-gratification? There's also some interesting setup around Irisu herself, that she is from a distinguished family that owns a hospital, as well as being known as the Empress. Also, that she was brought in recently to this case, if you will. Kind of like the detective who has this cold case thrown on their plate. It's interesting. So the key thing was a bit of a dead end. The map thing was a bit of a dead end. Yeah, I don't really know. Okay. Fascinating. I think that's all I can probably glean from this episode. So, I want to take a quick break, do a syncy thingy, and we'll come back and hop on in to the next episode, and we'll go ahead and watch episode 9. And I don't know, maybe we'll just take this arc as far as it takes us. I hope it's not like a 12 episode arc. But it's probably like 2 or 3. So, yeah, gonna take a quick breaky thingy and do a syncy thingy, and then we'll be back for episode 9. So I'll see you in just a moment. Peace. All right, welcome back. We are all synced up and ready to go for episode 9. We've got this interesting mystery within a world, film within a film, mystery within a mystery, whodunit with a sort of classical closed locked room vibe to the whole situation, which is interesting. And supposedly we have all the information that we would possibly need to actually figure it out at the moment. I have not figured it out. I'm stupid like that. I don't know. But now our crew is going to go and be observers of a group of other amateur detectives who were introduced in just a flash at the end of the last episode and all have very interesting character designs and kind of cool. So it's going to be interesting to have a totally different dynamic going on here. Rather than each of them putting forth their own opinions, they're going to be critiquing the opinions and the detective work of the others. And interested to see how Oreki plays with this and how the rest of them play with it and how it goes. In any case, also we got a bunch of flashes of like horrifying murders on screen and stuff, and I'm going to assume, just before we even begin, I'm going to assume that those are all baseless speculation in the minds of the other detective people, the amateur detectives who we're going to be watching. But I don't know. So let's go ahead and dive on into episode 9 and see what we see, find out what we find out, and see if this murder mystery gets resolved quickly or if it takes more episodes. I don't know. In any case, beep beep timer. I'm sure they have. I'm sure they're all wrong as well. Eh. Mm-hmm. Both seem extremely arrogant. I like her. That might change. Probably not. All right. Okay, so we're starting one at a time. Gotcha. Tell us your story. Sure. Mm-hmm. Whiskey chocolates? Fuck yeah. Ooh. Yeah, bit strong, eh? Real whiskey in there. They're usually like 2 to 3% alcohol. Love them. Only problem is you get sick before you can eat enough to get drunk. Hmm. 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 So she didn't have a direct influence on. Hmm. Yeah, but via majority rule. Yeah, wow, he is quick to flare up a little bit. Hmm. Sure, you're wrong, but go for it. Oh. Hmm. There's conflict within. So classic, but very old school. Sure. Right. That defeats the purpose of the locked room. The grass wasn't disturbed too much. Okay, so we have a copy of the floor map. Right. Right. There and the window. Was you aware of the filming location? Was it part of the script? Or was it meant to be an entirely locked room? Smart. She might not have known. Oh. Okay, so she knew. That eliminates that possibility. Something could have changed, the junk blocking the path. Too easy, and no footprints in the grass. What if when she was there, the junk wasn't in that hallway? Where does that hallway go? Doesn't give us enough information. Yep, it was stuck, and there weren't any... Yeah. Yep. Yep. Nope, she was very particular about the details. And correct. Yeah, your theory falls apart. Hmm. Mmm. It hadn't grown in yet? Yeah. Ah, okay. Nope. Yep. Sure, but it's not interesting. He just wants the easy way. Walk us through it, bud. Hmm. Mm-hmm. As usual. Thank you, Chitanda. How would he have gotten back? Hmm. I think it has to do with the junk in the hallway. Yeah. It's been a while. The rules? They're quite meta. Agatha Christie, the classics. Eh, that's odd, given how curious you are. Yeah. Super into him. Bit of a fan, bit of a fanatic. Yeah. It's like a Hoovian. Next guest. Script or props? Or girl or props? Guy. Who is it? I don't remember what her role is. Nope. Nice. Oh, hello. That's the prop guy, right? Cool. Perfect. Had a couple too many whiskey chocolates, have we, Chitanda? That was the cutest fucking hiccup. Oh my god. A battle between the author and the reader? But these are the ones that she read. Sherlock. Hmm. Scandal in Bohemia, Red-Headed League, Case of Identity. Okay. Various of the stories. That's very useful. As you wish. Oh. Okay. An act of passion? An act of opportunity. But each of them picked the key that was put in front of them. Okay, he's got that far. Right, so they brought it with them. Thunder stolen. Hallway. Right, by the rules. Oh, down from above? Wait, no, actually I can't. Through where? Again pointing at Konosu. Thus no marks on the grass. That actually works, okay. Yeah, you're focusing on one detail. That's the opposite of what we've heard. But she specifically asked for less blood. Hmm. Me too. Sure. Reading through, finding the tricks that were mentioned in the notes. You gotta stop eating those. You gotta stop eating those, girl. Yeah, for real. She ate all of them. Gotta keep trying another one. Oh shit, she's out. Oh jeez. Daijoubu. The window was stucky. Even if she's a rock climber, could she have done that from the outside? Huh? Right. I still think there was no junk in that hallway when she first came through. The script? Nice. Oh, that's a shot. Tipsy Stunned is the fucking best. Oh my god. Oh. Make absolutely sure. What was her role? She reminds me a little bit of Yuko. I'm Chow, publicity manager. Oh, it might. These sort of bombastic angles for her. It's wonderful. Murder. No, those will be in Thriller. But that breaks the rules. Sure, but that breaks the rules. Ah, that's where those cuts were from. She's definitely a production manager. Uh-huh. Actually, only the virgin girl would survive because... Yeah, it is. Dreams. Ghosts. Vengeful ghosts, specifically. Looking up toward the camera, that's great. Oh, she has gotten red. Can she maybe breathe a little? Can we get her some water? Oh, fuck. Huh? Huh? Aw. Oh. Oh! Thunk. Maybe make sure she's not concussed. Holy shit. Too much. Lots of blood. Lots more blood. But there was only a little bit necessary. Blood covers Sugimura's hand. I feel like the blood was already there. Not good. Ooh. Same goes for detective work. Oh, hi. Okay. EBA? EBA? What no one noticed. Okay. Well, I once again really like this episode. Lots of fun stuff going on here. These three characters with their very unique designs. I mean, they're each of their designs is so well fits what they actually express personality wise. He's like so straightforward and kind of classical and very much into the drama of it as the inexperienced assistant director who has his own ideas of how things should go. But also like there's obviously some tension between him and the idea of using a mystery story and Hongo's script in particular, because he has his own way that he thinks that it should go. This guy is so self-centered and a little bit slimy. Like, immediately dislike him a lot. And then she is just bubbly and over enthusiastic and a little bit too straightforward. But also thinking about it from like the perspective of a producer, if you will. Given that she's the publicity manager, it makes a lot of sense, and she's thinking about how it would sell with the whole classical the last couple left behind story thing turning into a romance and yada yada. It's great. It's great. The distinct different way that each of them is being shot, he's a lot more like framed pretty straightforwardly, as is his character, and even when he gets into talking about the whole thing, it's very much like that. And there's a lot. I mean, we get this cut or this angle on the chair for each of them, but there's a different feeling on each one, and it's kind of cool. And I think it's how the characters themselves are drawn. He's a lot more simple and straightforward. And then when we get this guy, second guy, where's that same cut? I know it's here somewhere. He's got his own ideas about how things are. The fact that he's using like the prop of the pen and popping it on his chin or on his forehead, it gives him some character and some stuff. There's the cut. Yeah. It's very similar, but he's animated very differently and very snarky. Don't like him at all. And actually, I think that in the first moments when he's introduced, we almost immediately get a cut to Oreki's eyes just like not having any of it. I don't know where it is though. That's fine. Okay. And the shimmering glasses, all of that jazz. It's great. And then throughout we have the through line of Chitanda becoming more and more inebriated as she eats more and more of these whiskey chocolates that she brought with her. I have to say, her first hiccup, I'm not gonna go and find it because it's just like one little tiny cut, was maybe the cutest thing. Just combination of the voice acting and the little bit of animation and just the fact that Chitanda is getting drunk off of chocolates is maybe my favorite thing ever. It's up there. It's definitely up there. And the whole thing where she goes like Daijoubu. Fantastic. Fantastic. I love it. Love it to pieces. Just the cutest. So I'm curious about the extra blood thing and whether that colors the way that the film worked out. It seems like I'm sticking with the idea that maybe it's just a hypothetical, but maybe there was already blood on his hands. Because showing blood on a character's hands is like a surefire thing. But if he goes up there and touches the body and then shows the blood on his hands, suspicion is removed from the blood that's already on his hands, right? Does that make sense? That would be one reason to show that there's not much blood around the body itself or around the scene. Less likely for it to get on his hands themselves. I don't know. They tasted rather curious. Oh, yeah, yeah. This.
ちーちゃん大丈夫？大丈夫ですよ。大丈夫？
And then just this look from Oreki like, oh Jesus, oh God, oh no. Amazing. It's probably not super important which tricks she was investigating in the Sherlock Holmes stories, though it seems pretty clear that she probably pulled some from those Sherlock Holmes stories. I don't know. I love this character's hair design. Specifically the hair. Like, you got this braid on the one side, the little like loose loopy buns all over in sort of a hectic haphazard way with the little ribbon thing as a knotted thing. It's just so fucking cute. I love it. I love it. It's so cute. And then when she gets this cut, there's a lot more liveliness and action and almost sort of a publicity sort of thing going on with the way that she's animated. It's kind of wonderful. Really like that. And then the whole idea that it will follow traditional Japanese or Western storytelling tropes is just great. But she does bring up the idea that it could be horror, and they're just like, "Oh, geez, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work at all." And Chitanda turns bright red, gets that glow on. All right, yeah, not much blood. Across the street, you want to have some tea. Sort of calling back to the moment where Chitanda asked him for tea. It's something to this. But we're going to have to wait until next episode to find out, and that's okay because we don't have to wait very long. I'm going to go ahead and watch it. So, let me do a timer thingy, sinky thingy, and then we'll be back for episode 10. See you in a moment. Peace. All right, we are good to go, all synced up and ready for episode 10 of Hyouka. So, let's go ahead and watch it. We've got what seems to be a meeting for tea with Irisu and Oreki. See how that goes and what she wants to talk about. In any case, beep beep timer. Tea House Hifumi. Sitting in Seiza. Yeah, this looks like an expensive place. None of them. Yes, Empress. Whatever you want, Empress. Okay, so we just skip through it. What no one noticed. Yeah, but he's just trying to not take responsibility. So why'd you try to use them? Fair. Oh, she just keeps talking straight through him. Relying on him. Quite. Brutally. You. And it's you. Shooting from below. So you've passed the test. Reflections in the eyes, just like they did with Chitanda. You are special. And rose tint comes in. Oh boy. Uh-oh. Indeed. Please. Sure. It's her. It's her. You absolutely are. Nope. You try real hard not to. Do you want a normal life? Seems like a bit of a turning point. Maybe. Ah. 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 Uh-huh. No? If I have to, I'll do it quickly. Hmm. Database who skims the surface of many things. Wow. That's self-awareness, though. Sure did. Money. Back at ya. Fair enough. Mm-hmm. Because you've got that natural talent. Wow, that was subtle. Impossible. Yeah. So transparent. A better Sherlock in, eh? Good. Poor thing. All right, so no Chi for now. We're gonna have another look at the movie. Okay. All right, it's his arm. And the key. That hallway, though. Hmm. Soulka. True. Turning our attention to the cameraman. Oh, easy to criticize, harder to think about how you would actually storyboard it. Who was the cameraman? Unless it's intentional. Oh, who's coming? Oh, hi. What? Ah, what did you do? Hmm. Bye. Yep. Absolutely. The database passed over. Hmm. So everyone leaves Oreki alone. Hmm. Hmm. Think it through again, bud. Whoa. Compiling every scene. Oh, he's got it. Okay. Hello, Irisu. Tell. Please do. Except... Sure. Right. Right. The cameraman. Oh. Right. The killer was there with you the entire time. Who's holding the flashlight? Absolutely. Intentional. Oh, and we're shooting it like that. That's cool. Because he is another character. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that was actually my first thought. Okay. I ruled it out because it wouldn't follow Noxus rules. The hidden assumption. Which is just, I mean, or just bad at acting. Because we don't know if it was a woman. The camera was left still. Right. And was the last one to leave the room with the master key in it, right? Or that. Okay. You'll need it to finish the film. Someone being left out and forced to carry the burden of being the camera. Hmm. Yeah? Hmm. You have pleased the Empress. Cool shot. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Bad movie. Title drop. All right then. Home run. Hey. Boom. Oh. 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 Preview screening. I'm going to be there to see it. As long as people enjoyed it. Oh, that was. Oh, hi. I like her a lot. I like her a lot. Ah, darn. Prop guy. Hey, prop guy. Hmm. Suck it. Hmm. Mm. 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 Hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Sup? Okay. The rope. It's not the right answer. Oh, fuck. I still don't know what why didn't she ask EBA means. There's one more episode, isn't there? It's a convenient answer, but it's not the right one. Okay. I was convinced. Here's one more. All right. He's a fool. Okay. 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 Cool. Well, there's not gonna be that much discussion in this episode because it's cool, and the reveal of what he thinks is pretty cool. The general direction of this whole sequence with Irisu is fucking awesome. And the whole sequence where we go from these like under the chin across the board poses where we start with like setting it up and showing us the layout from below, and then her and then him and then back and then back, and then doing the reflections in the eyes, the same way that we did with Chitanda that once. This is just cool. It's just really cool. And then she tells him something he may have never heard before. You are special. You have a gift. You're different. You're the one I wanted. Tells this little story, which seems pretty clearly to be about her past, but we're left to infer that. Sees himself reflected in the glass of water. And then we have this conversation, which turns just slightly dark as he reveals that just a little bit he's jealous of Oreki. He recognizes that Oreki has this talent. I think you can become one of the best if you really tried. Smile. Things I'm more interested in, but I'll admit I am jealous. And then we get these little inset cuts, just close-ups on his eyes, going from happy wide-eyed to a little bit darker, and turning away. Mataku. It's cool. Going through the video again and again and discussing that the camera work is so shoddy and how it would have been able to be done better, all of which leads to the conclusion that he comes up with, which is that, well, it must be the cameraman. And there's this side thing going on where he has to take those makeup exams, which is great. He comes up with the idea, and then we have this whole sequence where he is looking through it and starts like going through his own head brain space of all the TV screens, all the different stuff. It's just a cool visual. It's just awesome. Very different from some of the other ones we've seen before. And then he makes the explanation to her. The idea is accepted. It fits the facts, but it's not the right answer. So what is? The only thing with the cameraman thing is that it's a character who has not been introduced to the audience. That's the only thing. It doesn't fit the rules. I was thinking that the what we're calling the second locked room mystery, the hallway that none of them could have approached. I was thinking that maybe the girl who went up above him, the one who I called a red herring, could have rappelled from the top there down, gotten to the room, gone back up. Something happened when the camera went to black and then came back on. Perhaps two people working together? No. All right, I'm curious. So, didn't expect to do this, but let's go ahead and take a quick breaky thingy, and we will watch one more. So, I will see you in a moment. Peace. All right, let's go ahead and dive on into Hyouka episode 11, which hopefully will be the actual finish of this arc because it's been a long one. This is 4 episodes now, and that's a lot. I went ahead and re-upped or tea-upped, or I re-upped on tea because I drank most of my tea already. So, let's go ahead and dive on into episode 11. Beep beep timer. Bom, bom, bom. One loose thread. Then why was it there? Why was it there? No, you're right. Pat, pat. So will he put in the effort to resolve it? Without the pressure from Chitanda this time. There's a difference between this situation and the one with the previous one where he was a little bit wrong. And it's that he doesn't have Chitanda staring him down. If he goes and finds the real answer, it'll be only for himself. Everyone else is happy about it. It's a question of character at this point. It's interesting. Wanting to have it be over. Maybe. Hi, Satoshi. Oh. He's freaking out. You're freaking out, man. Hmm. What's your question? Yeah. Yeah. Have to do with the previous conversation? Hmm. But that wasn't it. Yeah, why? Better Sherlockian than you give yourself credit for. So what? She wanted an in-universe trick. Right, she wouldn't have known that. Novels. Holmes. Which doesn't use narrative tricks. They're always straightforward. So it's not possible. But you know what she... Yeah. Yeah. Something that only you can do? Now you're reaching. Now you're doing what the ones before did. Nope, you're just trying to avoid the work. Don't lie to yourself, bud. Holy shit, that was tense. You gotta find the real answer, man. Got to. Hi, Chitanda, are you okay? You don't look so okay right now. Each of the three is approaching him with, like, something. Okay. Sup? Is it bad? I can't handle more bad. Good. Alright, explain. Yeah. I'm not saying no to that. Nope. No, it's something else. That is what she's been asking about this whole time. A mystery within a mystery. Or does Hongo not exist? No, Hongo exists. Or was it just to pull you in? And thus the start from Ibara. Or Irisu. Why didn't she ask Aba? A narrative trick. The only answer that makes sense is that the mystery that she wrote was this mystery. Alright, alright, alright. Wow, Eru. Right. Not as the work of a person. And a rope. What a cool visual. No, you took on the role of detective. And you were wrong. Right. This just got endlessly more fascinating. Can you really sleep with that? All right. There's the character moment. But. Yep. What kind of book? The title is something about the fool, right? Hmm. 100%. And you were strength. Comprehension. Better than you might think. You're strong in your ideals. So you think. Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, you might. Changed your perspective? Hello, Irisu. About that. Nope. Back to the tea house. Ooh. I've got a partial oolong at this point. Oh, matcha though. I miss matcha. This is half green, half oolong. Sure. Nope. Hmm. All a game. Oh, so those were important. What about the triangles? Hmm. Oh, during the notes, the minutes. How many people should die? Right. Don't have the people. Her own vote. But she wasn't writing the script. But that's the work of the props manager. I'm sure it's more than that. Hit me with it. Sure. But they weren't right. Oh, wow. The real mystery is in the outer world. Hmm. A narrative trick. Huh. Huh. Manipulation? Those ultra close ups. Nice. No response. An interesting answer. Calling all detectives. Oof. Ah, back to the. Yep. It's for everyone to have fun working together. Aww. A little bit. Playing a bluff on someone on the other side of the world. Shouldn't lie to me either, since... Is it his sister? Because you wanted to protect the girl who wrote the script, did you? Just thought the original script was boring from the start. Ooh. Ooh. Deep cuts. That idiot probably didn't notice. It's his sister. Senpai. Furious typing. Whoa. Oh, he is just like... Eri, you have to save him. It's complicated. Yes. Hmm. Hmm. The camera person? Oh. Hmm. Ah. Mm. そうか。Hmm. Rusty nail. Lerv. It's gotta be Lerv. Hmm. 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 Maybe. Hmm. Chihayafuru. Hmm. Hmm. I'm satisfied. Okay, Jikai. Oh, the festival itself. Practically piled to the ceiling. That was a really cute Chitana moment. Okay, I think this is really interesting. So, couple things. I noted in the very first episode that we met Irisu that she is revealed in sort of a villainous way, a way that arouses suspicion about her. But I didn't have any way to link it up or to make it make sense that she was the mastermind to some level behind all of this. There wasn't enough there. But now that we've gotten the reveal that what she was doing was really planning this whole plot to create the story, to put someone else unwillingly into the role of mystery writer, it all kind of makes sense. This is a scheme through and through, a ploy through and through. And it's also a narrative trick within a narrative trick. Like, she's using a narrative trick in terms of how she's presenting information to Oreki and friends, but mostly to Oreki. And then because while we're not locked into Oreki's perspective in the same way we are locked into, say, Araragi's perspective in most of Monogatari, we're still closely following it. We see mostly only what he sees. And so the trick also works on us. We don't have the perspective. We don't have the information to put it together. But we have hints. There are bits and pieces that lead in that direction. One of the other ones, and it's something that I got hung up on, was the mention of the rules, the sort of rules of engagement for a detective story. And it's rather clever, I think, because it makes us think that necessarily the plot as planned would be within those rules, which means that any ideas that Oreki and Co. have to come up with have to follow those rules because Irisu wants the story to follow those rules, and so they follow along and fall right into the ploy. But it also means that some of the things that are bits of discrepancies with the film itself, they only make sense because Hongo wasn't involved so much in the filming. There was so much ad-libbing and extra bits and pieces being thrown on, like the arm being severed and the excessive blood being there. All of these things lead into red herrings, but like it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be that way because it's not actually following the original vision. It's something that is more of a collaborative storytelling. And they're tasked, without their knowledge, to fill in the gaps and fill in the ending. Also, just the mention of ad-libbing is somewhat interesting, because that's exactly what's going on. They are filling in the blanks of the story, quite literally ad-libbing it. That's fascinating. This was really cool. Now, how this involves Oreki's sister, who I assume is the one that we're talking about, since she's the only character that we know of who's across on the other side of the world. I don't really know. I don't really understand. But I'm also not sure that it really matters at this point. It seems like Irisu was maybe familiar with her, and based on that familiarity, asked her for assistance, asked her for help in this whole situation, and was pointed toward Oreki by that. So I wonder, was she one of the three that Irisu mentioned recommended Oreki to her, or recommended the Classics Club? I would assume so. Wow. A couple of really, really fantastic moments. Like, each of the confrontations between Oreki and Itaba, and then Satoshi, and then Eru, have a very different feel to them. With the one between him and Satoshi having a, a, a good bit of tension to it. It was a stressful meeting, really. I don't know where it is. It's before Eru's. Yeah, this one. Up on the walkway between buildings. And it sort of cues into the little flashes of darkness in Satoshi's eyes when he was walking away in the last episode. Just a little bit. Pushing. And then we've got the dark shading under Oreki's eyes, putting them at odds with each other, across from each other. You can't say that it's what Hongo wanted. It's your story and it's fine, but it's not hers. He just gets kind of beaten down over and over by all of this. And then Eru just tells him that she was really more curious about Hongo, and in doing so, helps him realize that the whole thing was a bit of a toriku, a bit of a trick, that he was carried along by this idea of himself being the detective, when in reality he was being recruited to be a writer, a mystery writer. Now it's this moment that I think is the critical one for him. Everyone's happy, everything's fine. I don't need to find out the answer. I'll just rest. I'll just conserve energy. But he can't. He can't. He has to figure it out. He must. And then he gets that hint about a change in perspective, and it all blows wide open. It was all a game. We need to talk. I understand. And Irisu at this point is painted as, I don't know, I don't think sinister is the word, but she fits her name of Empress. A bit manipulative. Without people's consent or permission. Interesting. And then in the somewhat climactic confrontational scene here, is it here? It's a little bit past here. Where we get all these quick cuts. I don't remember where it is, actually. There was one sequence that had an like innumerable quick cuts between their eye lines and their mouths. It's really cool. As he gets angrier and angrier. There, yeah. And she's straight up and down, and he's a little bit more hectic and Dutch, but she is always straight up and down. It's a cool sequence. And then the light dawns, and she sort of refuses to answer. That makes me feel better, but we see it does not. He is pissed. Looks like it all worked out. Sister reveals that she's rather insightful as well. And then I love this moment where he's just like, come on, say your lines. Come on. Can you marry me? No, let's go. La, la, la. And then she sort of goes with it. It's great. It's great. So how would it really be? Oh, I see. I see. a difficult role, and an unanswerable question. She's like me. I don't like stories where characters die. Well, this was a much longer arc than I anticipated, but hey, it was a pretty fun one. It definitely jerked me around a lot. Definitely thought I had it a couple of times, and definitely didn't have it at all a couple of times. That was cool. A lot of really clever elements in here. And the whole idea of not only a story within a story, but a mystery built out around the borders, around the framing device. Not inside the framing device, but outside of it. Because the mystery is the frame itself. The mystery, or the solution to it, is the way that Irisu frames the whole situation to Oreki and friends. That's just fascinating. I think that was a really, really clever bit of storytelling in a couple of ways. Plus, we had some wonderfully cute moments for Chitanda and other people. And a little bit more depth that I've been waiting for on Satoshi and his whole shtick, his whole deal. Calling himself the magician. Maybe. All in all, this was an interesting 4-episode arc, albeit a long one. I had a good time with it. I hope you did too. Let's go ahead and wrap. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Hyouka, episodes 8, 9, 10, and 11. Holy shit. I hope you've enjoyed them as much as I have, and I hope to catch you next week when we go ahead and watch some more. I'm also, I think that there's an 11.5 episode in the files that I have. So I guess that's an OVA, smack dab in the middle of the season. Yeah, 22 episodes with one OVA, I guess. And it's 11.5. So I guess we'll probably start out with watching that next week, and then we'll move along from there and see how far we want to get. In any case, this was good. I hope you enjoyed it too, and I hope to catch you next week. Peace.